Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Saidah Mara Aminah binti Zulkafli and I'm from ED 24238. Today I will be presenting my movie review for EDU 550 Educational Psychology. The movie that I chose for this movie review is Beyond the Blackboard. In this movie review, I will be discussing on three items, which is motivation, classroom management, and lastly, we will go on for the theories that are related to the movie. So first, let's look on about the movie. The name of the movie is Beyond the Blackboard. It was released on 2011, and this movie is based on a true story of a woman named Stacy who passionate about being a teacher. Even she had difficulties on her journey to teach, which is she stopped studying at 16, she already have kids and get married. So even so, she still wanted to be a teacher. And then when she got to be a teacher, she was sent to an unnamed school where children from homeless shelter. Stacy thought she will get a great school, which there were some good equipment as a teacher, but knowing she need to teach at a homeless school, she tried to keep herself positive and be a good teacher for the children, though it is not very good at all for her. Now, let's go for the first item that we want to talk about, motivation. Motivation is enthusiasm for doing something. What is the motivation in this movie? Firstly, we have to look at the behavioral perspective. From the situation in the movie, Mrs. Stacy did not punish Danny to talk rudely to her when Mrs. Stacy asked him to sit down on his own chair because he sat on Alex's lap to make fun of Mrs. Stacy. Instead of punishing Danny, Mrs. Stacy, only being strict and firmly asked Danny to sit properly on his chair, as he feels Mrs. Stacy is angry with his action and he did not expect she was a firm teacher. So motivation from this behavior perspective is individuals are motivated because of the effect punished behavior has on them. Behavior that avoids punishment to avoid future punishment in similar circumstances. In this situation, Danny became aware that he should not make Mrs. Stacy angry again and he should respect her for to make him being a good boy. Let's move on to the cognitive perspective. Cognitive perspective is a situation where it impacts on an individual's level of motivation. It implied in such views of motivation that are concerned with personal beliefs and values, perception of self, including perception about self-worth, abilities and competencies and goals and expectation for success or failure. So in the situation in the movie, which are related to cognitive perspective, is about Dana. Dana is this scaredy girl who does not talk a lot. She is very shy and always hiding her face behind her hair. Her hair is closing up her face, so people did not really see her face well. So Mrs. Stacy helped her to gain confidence. We first bought her a headband so she could lift her hair and show her face. On the day Dana on her new school, Mrs. Stacy wrote a letter to her new teacher where she praised and stated that Dana's strength, telling that she's a good girl, she's very brave, and she's good at science, and her competency in learning and socializing with others, so Dana could attend her new school without worrying if she's lacking. In this situation, Dana came to her new class with feeling great and confident. She did not shy anymore, so she got the motivation from Mrs. Stacy. So this is the cognitive perspective for where the motivation came from. The third perspective is social perspective. The situation that happened in this movie is Mrs. Stacy give the class a session where the children sit together on the floor and they will get a chance to talk or tell any story about them to all the circles. Some students tell their worries, trauma, and story of their life at the shelter. And Mrs. Stacy responded to their story very well and makes them feel reassured. So the motivation that they had from the social perspective is the social and emotional support of significant others, such as parents, teachers, and peers, and the impact of models in motivated behavior. So when the students allowed to speak out and they feel less burdened, and when the other classmates saying good words to them makes them feel better and happy. The last perspective is humanistic perspective. The situation is Mrs. Stacy make every action in the class into a vocabulary, and it had it stick at the board in front of the class for them to see and read it every day. She even made them to stick the words by themselves so they remember and understand what the vocabulary they learned that day. So the motivation from this situation is the importance of the individual's inherent dynamism of self-growth, which motivates them, motivates their behavior, and the importance of significance others in fostering this self-growth. So when this situation happens when Danny and Alex have fight in class, and Mrs. Stacy asked Danny why he did not understand why he did fight with Alex, and he used the vocabulary that happens to be suitable for the situation to express his own feelings. Now, let's move for the second item, that is classroom management. Classroom management is creating, inviting, and appealing environments for learning. From the pictures, you can see that this is the class situation for the first time they had the class there. It is a warehouse, it's dirty and unhygiene. It is not comfortable and lively for learning, for sure. It has sound pollution when the train comes over. There is desks and chairs, but it is not enough. It has less equipment and no privacy at all. This is the situation after Mrs. Stacy cleaned the class. It had painted walls, colorful illustration, it clean and tidy, lively and comfortable. Most importantly, the student became more happy and excited. The table was set up as teacher-student relationship-focused interventions. This picture shows the class situation after a contribution from other outside organization. There's new desks and chairs. Look, they already sat on them. And also they have new textbook for each subject that they have to learn. And the children became more excited and spirited to learn after they know they get a few contributions from others. From the classroom management, there are also speaking skills, where enhanced speaking skills in discussing on bad behavior that happens. And everyone allowed to speak their opinion, right? So they express their feeling, and the teachers and classmates being a listener. From this speaking skills enhancement, they could easily speaking without their worries and shy anymore. Another classroom management is dealing with behavior. Well, of course, in classroom, there will always be students with behavior. So the first picture, it is the student did not listen to their teacher, and the teacher being firm for the student listen to the instruction properly. And the second picture shows that the student fought, and the teacher calmly handled and asked the student to apologize with each other. Now we are on our third item, which is theories. There are two theories that I identify from these movies, which is from Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory, and it is also the second one, Ivan Pavlov classical conditioning. Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory. Ecological system theory describes human development through the prism of the environmental interconnections and their impact on the force directly affecting psychological growth. So this focuses on the social context in which people live and the people who influence their development. So from the movies, let's watch a few scenes that I have found in the movie related to Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory.
But there's no tolerance for drug use. No drugs, no booze, no exceptions. You're high, you're out. Am I understood?
We're clear.
We're good.
Hi, I'm Johnny.
Hi.
Joe, would you please find Miss Trumbull? Thank you.
Well, my name is Stacy Bess. I'm supposed to report to a school. She did to her tests. Okay, everybody sit down. Why? Because I said so. Sit down. Where do I want to sit? Danny, I'm warning you. Get to your seat right now.
I have my seat right here. Want to see it?
Okay, you know what? I am working very hard here, and it's bad enough without having to deal with your nonsense. Now sit your butt down and get to work, too. Go. Alex, go. Come on. Everybody,
2 hours. Right? 2 hours. No TV. No smoking. Who's for it? Up with the hands.
come on.
Is that up?
Fine.
Okay, 4's the win. I am so good at this PTA thing.
I think so. See, this is a giant bubble. Looped and swept up.
Daddy!
Hey, you guys.
Happy Valentine's Day, Daddy!
I love you guys too. Come here. Give me a big hug.
I want you to have this.
Ivan Pavlov, classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is one of those unconscious learning methods and is the most straightforward way in which humans can learn. Classical conditioning is the process in which an automatic conditioned response is paired with specific stimuli. A neutral stimulus becomes associated with a meaningful stimulus and acquires the capacity to elicit a similar response. So from this theory, you can see the scene that I have prepared on the next slide.
She did to her tests. Okay, everybody sit down. Why? Because I said so. Sit down.
Where do I want to sit?
Danny, I'm warning you. Get to your seat right now.
I have my seat right here. Want to see it?
Okay, you know what? I am working very hard here, and it's bad enough without having to deal with your nonsense. Now sit your butt down and get to work, too. Go. Alex, go. Come on. Everybody, here you go.
Now?
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, everybody, get up! School in 20 minutes!
Louder.
Come on, everybody, get up! School in 20 minutes! Come on, everybody, get up!
Hi, boys. Fill up the cupboard, Corporal. Got the keys?
Time to wake up, everybody! Let's go! School starts in half an hour! Come on! School starts in half an hour! Let's go! Right, everybody! Half an hour! Let's wake up! Let's wake up, everybody! Come on, we're not starting without you! Wake up! Let's go! You too! Everybody! Let's go! Good morning, Danny! Come on, you've got 30 minutes! Thank you for listening my presentation until the end. I have enjoyed so much with this movie and learning about the theories regarding the movie with my education. So that's all for me. Thank you and goodbye.